Hi everyone, this is Tom Adams, principal of Hamburg Middle School. I'm excited to announce to all of our students in 7th and 8th grade, whether you're in cohort A, B, C, or D, that Modified Athletics is going to start next week. Our modified program this year is going to be more of a developmental model rather than the traditional one that we're used to. That's in light of the current health crisis. But we are hoping to, aside from the developmental piece, also have some scrimmages and some games that possibly could be scheduled. We're just going to have to wait and see on that. But we are super excited to let you know that both boys and girls soccer, boys and girls cross country, and girls field hockey will begin their practices next week. Some things to keep in mind, and bear with me here as I look to my notes and go through this. You're going to practice on the days that you are either present in school or that you would be present in school should your last name begin with the letters that correspond with either cohort A or cohort B. So our cohort B students who attend school on Thursday, September 24th, will have your first practice on that day. You'll also have your practice on September 25th. Also practicing that day would be cohort C students whose last names begin with the letters L through Z. Similarly, cohort D students whose last names begin with the letters L through Z. Those students would all be practicing their first practice on Thursday, September 24th, and then they would also be practicing on Friday, September 25th. Our cohort A students and the rest of the students whose last names begin with the letters A through K, their first practice will be on Monday, September 28th. They will also practice September 29th. Your coaches will schedule a whole team practice on either a Wednesday or a Saturday, and that's really going to be left up to the coach's decision, and the coaches will communicate that information with you. So the practices on Thursday and Friday will just be for cohort B students and students in other cohorts, aside from cohort A, whose last names begin with the letters L through Z. Cohort A students and students with the last name with the letters A through K, they'll start their practice on Monday, September 28th. So again, that's boys and girls soccer, boys and girls cross country, and girls field hockey. For our students who are participating at the JV or varsity level, you can look for information from your coaches about that as well. That should come in the form of an email. Now, a question has come in. Who is able to attend these practices? Well, if you've already signed up on Family ID for these sports, you are included in this. Also, if you haven't signed up and you want to, you can still go to Family ID and sign up for the specific sport that you'd like to participate in. Because this is very much a developmental model and our idea is to connect more and more students with our Bulldog athletic program, there will be no cuts this year for the fall season for Modified. That's because we want to make sure that we have as many people involved in our athletic program as possible. Some other things to keep in mind. Make sure on that first day of practice that you bring a water bottle and you fill up that water bottle at school. Water won't be provided for you in the form of cups and things like that. You got to keep your own. For equipment, even though practices will be at the high school, students can bring their equipment in that morning. So the cohort B students would bring it in on Thursday morning, and we're going to clear out a space for you to be able to store that. You won't be able to store that during your first period class like we have in the past. For changing, the students will be able to go over to the high school at about 2:50 or 3 o'clock, and you can change in the team room over there. And your coaches will be coming by the middle school to take you over there. For cohort D students, you can simply be dropped off at the high school for that, okay? You don't need to come to the middle school. You can be dropped off at the high school as close to 3 p.m. as you can. There are bound to be some questions here, such as, I don't have a physical, but I want to sign up. For that, go to Family ID and sign up, but also go to the District Athletic Department page, and you can get the health history form that you can fill in there. You then fax it over to the athletics office at the high school. That fax number is 646-3345. Bound to have some questions here. You can reach out to me via email, via commenting on this video, Or perhaps best, you can contact our athletic director, Mr. Cully. His phone number is 646-3344. So to wrap up, and we're going to reduce this to a document that's a little bit more, a little bit easier to reference. Boys and girls soccer, boys and girls cross country, girls field hockey. Keep in mind it's a developmental model with this rather than the series of contests, although we are hoping to have some scrimmages set up as well throughout the season. Sign up on Family ID if you haven't done so already. Be ready to come to school, be ready to practice after school for our Cohort B and our Cohort C students whose last names begin with the letters L through Z on Thursday. Cohort D will meet you there at the high school. Cohort A and those students with last names beginning with the letters A through K, your first practice will be on Monday. Again, Mr. Cully's phone number is 646-3344, faxing the health history form to 646-3345. There's a lot of information, short amount of time. Again, we'll have a document that goes along with this as well. But we're excited that Hamburg Central School District has decided to participate in modified athletics and to offer that to our students. Keep in mind the more developmental nature of it this year as opposed to last, and no cuts this year also. Take care, everybody. Have a great Friday and a great weekend. So long.